The only thing we are going to talk about today is how to book info product owners and sellers onto your calendar, just like I did. As you can see, there is 157 booked appointments in 68 days. These are people similar to Iman Gadzhi, Cardinal Mason, Charlie Morgan, William Brown, and a bunch of others you can think of. And the goal I have in today's video is to show you guys the best lead generation tools that exist so you can search these people and contact them. Second is how to actually write a cold email that will get their attention. Thirdly, how to create a loom that will make them wanna work with you. And fourth is exactly how to handle the negative replies people. And fourth is exactly how to handle the replies that they are going to give you back. So if you watch this video from the start till the end, you're going to be able to start booking info product owners to your calendar as well. So the first detail we're going to talk about in the lead generation section is not going to be actually a tool which you're going to use to get these leads, but rather a truth that you need to accept. And that's the fact that IG is much worse for getting the right info product sellers onto your calendar than YouTube, because YouTube is much more a sophisticated platform, meaning that those people have a YouTube channel who are really looking to sell something, or they have more experience, because almost every single person in the world has an IG profile, but a YouTube channel where they are creating content is much less. So if you want to have the best lead so you can easily help to make more money and actually make more for yourself as well, you need to focus on YouTube. So that's why the tool I'm going to show you right now is a tool for YouTube, and this is called SimilarTube. SimilarTube allows you to search YouTube leads similar to someone else, and also you can apply conditions onto these similar YouTube channels, which is going to give you the best leads possible. So let me show you an example. So this is the software, this is the site which you can actually check out for yourself, and this is the extension you need to download for your own Chrome. And now when you will go into a channel which you actually like, for example Iman Gadzhi, you think this is the person who I would wanna work with, or person similar to I would wanna work with, you can press this little button right here, which is going to open up this extension, this tool, and this is basically how it is going to look like. It is going to be Iman Gadzhi as the main channel we are going to search similar channels from. These are the keywords it found for Iman Gadzhi, and this is good for us as well. Then I can apply some conditions to the search. For example, I want to avoid duplicates, I want to skip favorite results, which is basically duplicates, and also I want to have email because I'm reaching out to them on email, and also I want to have them publish a video in the last 45 days, and also I can put in what kind of subscriber range I'm looking for. So let's say I want 10,000 between 60,000, and also for example I'm interested them being in, let's say, United States only. That's the people I want to work with. Then I can apply all these details and I can press search, and after some time actually passes, we are going to have some kind of search. Now as you guys can see, the search has finished and we have 12 leads out of 512. Basically for me specifically, because of I have been using this software for a while now, it skipped 62 of these leads, if that makes sense, because I already searched them. And also 13 didn't have email, so it skipped. 4 didn't publish a video in the last 45 days, and the rest, or 408, didn't have the right subscriber count. That's why it only found 12. But for you as a completely new user of SimilarTube, you're going to find 50 to 60 leads per search, so it's perfect for beginners. And now you can basically either search more or you can export the CSV, and here just what you do is download it. And now you have 12 leads you can actually work with. And as you guys can see, these are only from the US, and they are only leads I would actually want to work with. So perfect. Now let's go back and what to do from here. But still, SimilarTube has a huge limitation, and I can talk about it for hours because that's why we needed to do something different. For me specifically, anymore this tool is not working because we reached what you call the diminishing results. So basically when we are trying to search new leads, we are getting only the old ones, and so what happens, we need a bunch of search to get some leads, and it's really expensive compared to what we can get out of it. So that's why we have a third outreach or lead generation system, which is our own. And if you guys want to, I can show you the perfect rundown on how this works and how amazing it is. But as you guys can see, we target 150 channels per search, and it searches that much. And as you guys can see, we see when it started, when it ended exactly. And we are doing this for any kind of keyword. As you guys can see, we can press this YouTube search, we can press the channel founder, we can here simply type in like what kind of search term I want to search channels on and how many channels I want to have, or a bunch of other details, which I'm not going to go into too much detail because I can talk about it for hours. But what happens is that we are going to have bunch of leads with 1 or 2 clicks for ourselves. So with that said, this is how our lead generation system looks like. If this would be something of your interest, guys, simply just book a call down with me, because any of my one-on-one consultation clients who we have with cold outreach gets access to this. So with that said, if you wanted to book a call with me down below. But now if you have the leads, how do you actually get their attention? And that's when we're going to talk about email copy, especially subject lines, because subject lines are the most important when it comes to doing cold outreach with email. But the problem is most people don't understand how subject lines work correctly. So I have to tell you right now, when you're writing your subject line, your only goal is to get a click. And you have to remember this forever. You're not trying to sell your program. You're not trying to give them how much money you can make, or you're not trying to force them to book a call with you. You're only going with your subject line when you're writing it is to get a click from the viewer. And when you're thinking about writing your subject line, the only thing you need to focus on, if you understand the goal, is the curiosity, because that's what makes someone click. And for example, the one that we used for a while was "made this for your name." It induces so much curiosity that you just have to click on it, and that's the only thing that we do. Or another example with a very good curiosity inducing subject line could be "just for your name." But guys, I will let you use your own unique stimuli, because if you use someone else's and they're also using it, you shouldn't expect any kind of good results with it because of stimuli entropy. If you guys want to have a video about this, just comment it down below. But let's now talk about how to actually write emails, because if you have a good subject line which gets a click, the question becomes, how do you write an email? Now, what you need to know again about email body copy is what's the goal of having an email body copy, because if you don't know the goal, you cannot align the stimuli with the goal, meaning you're not going to get any kind of results from your email body copy that you're going to write. So the only goal with the email body copy is to create interest and get a Loom click. So you have to write your email body copy in a way which creates interest about your offer, but also to get someone to click on your Loom. So how does this specifically look like? Let's talk about the best structure you can write your email body copy, because if you know the best structure, you can simply just fill in the details and you're always going to have interested leads and clicks on your Looms, so people are actually going to book calls with you. It's very, very simple. We start with "hey name." Now specifically I write yo name because that's my personal touch to it, but you can write "hey name," "hi name," whatever like this. We just simply introduce ourselves or just greet the other person on the other side of the screen. Then we go and talk about the unique appreciation, or this is what I call it. Now what the heck does that mean? So what you want to do when you're trying to write your email body copy is break down the ego of the reader, because you are coming from the low ground, meaning that you don't have leverage in an email outreach. So people have a high ego when they are reading your outreach. They're like, "No, this guy is just stupid. This guy is just such, I don't work with people reaching out to me." So what you need to do is break down their ego. And how you do that is appreciate them, praise them, say that, "Hey, your content is amazing, brother. I just love what you're doing." And this is where you run into problem number 2, which is the fact that everyone is saying the same praise lines, like "your content was so valuable," or "you have such a good hook," or this, that, and the other. That's why you need to come with a unique appreciation. So you actually break down the ego and you're not categorized as, "Yo, this is a cold outreacher, typical cold outreacher. I don't want to listen to that person anymore." And just for example, so you guys understand what I'm trying to say, I was thinking about implementing this in my cold outreach copy. The value per minute in your videos are absolutely high. And so think about it. What I'm saying is that your videos are valuable, but I'm saying it in a way which is unique, so the praise actually hits, and it's not the same "your content is valuable." So that's what you need to think about in the second line of your email body copy. Now the third line is going to be very simple. It's a personalized line. Now we use automations for this in our program, where you can simply with one click personalize all email body copies with for every single person, but you guys have to just simply write a personalized line. Like I've seen something on your channel, something, make it personalized so they understand you're not a mass outreacher, even if in reality you are. Next thing is going to be your offer. And what you do here is very simple. You explain to them what's your offer, and simply. The next thing is going to be reasoning for Loom, because when you have an offer, people understand, okay, maybe interesting for me or not interesting for me, but we need to get them to our Loom. And so what you need to do is you need to reason why they need to watch the Loom, and then you just simply put a Loom link inside. Now, one very simple example could be if you say your offer is like, I will help you generate 20,000 extra cash in the next 90 days, then you can say very simply that I'm so interested in working with you that I actually created for you this, but I couldn't put it in anywhere else. I had to record a Loom video for you, and that reasons why they need to watch the Loom. And you just link the Loom. You put the thumbnail into the actual email body copy. The next thing is going to be the social proof. After people have watched your Loom, they are coming back to your email, and so what we're gonna do is drop the same social proof we drop in the Loom, so people are more likely to actually book a call with us. And after the social proofs, we just simply have a call to action, which is, would you be down for a 15 to 30 minute talk this week? Thanks, Robert. Simple as that, nothing crazy. And this is the best structure when it actually comes to writing amazing email body copies. With this, I have booked all of my calls which you have seen today. Now let's go through a specific example which was written by my client, and it's a very good email body copy. Now, of course, I have blurred the offer and his name and his Loom link, so you guys don't actually know who he is. But let's go through it. There is the first line, which is going to be the unique greeting for the actual channel name. Now there is a second line, which is the unique appreciation, and there is something inside this which I don't like, and after I'm going to go through this example, I'm going to show you guys what's that. So just stay tuned because you're going to learn even more. Went down the rabbit hole with your content yesterday, watched for 40 minutes straight, lol. Then the third, which is going to be the personalized line. Really enjoyed your video about how to use any camera in 9 minutes. Then the next one is, I noticed you've got solid engagement on IG as well, which probably means your DMs are pretty busy. And this is basically a transition line. This is a transition line. This is not something I haven't taught you. This is a transition line, because here we say, I am mentioning that because we built an AI system that handles in IG DMs on autopilot and offer right here. And then this is the next thing, which is the Loom reasoning. I put together a quick 2-minute Loom showcasing exactly how it works and what it could look like for you. Now there is something in this Loom reasoning which I absolutely hate, and also I'm going to touch on that in a second. But now here's the Loom link, which I deleted, and the next thing is going to be, we recently deployed this for a client who booked 104 appointments in a single month, generating around 70k in cash collect. If you're looking to automate parts of your business or scale your appointment flow, I would love to show you what's possible, worth a 15-minute chat. This is basically the social proof, and this is the call to action. Simple as that. Now, I mentioned to you guys multiple times how I'm not 100% in love with this email body copy because there are some problems inside. And that's why if you guys watch this video, this is going to be the exact video where I break down what's the problem in this email body copy and how can you make it 10x better. If you end this video and you go through this video as well, which is going to be the first link in the description below, you guys are going to be absolute bangers in creating high converting copy for cold outreach, so you can actually book calls on your calendar. But now let's talk about the Loom structure, because even if you can write such a good subject line, such a good email body copy, it's still not enough to get a booked call on your calendar. That's why we need Loom. So let's talk about it step by step. The goal is very, very simple when it comes to Loom. It's going to be selling the offer and yourself, because if someone wants to work with you, it's not enough to be sold on the offer. They need to be sold on yourself, specifically you who they are going to work with, and also themselves. So that's what we are realistically doing in the Loom. We are selling the offer and we are selling ourselves, so they book a call and the sales call, we can finalize everything. What would be the perfect structure when it comes to creating your Loom? We start with the very same thing, which is greeting, like, hey name, appreciate you checking out my video. We just simply greet people who actually click on the content, because if you don't, it's going to feel really awkward. The next line is going to be the praising again. So we just use some kind of praise that is perfect for these people. Just like, your video was so good, bang, 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 bang. We talk about something they done absolutely well and we just praise them. The next thing is going to be reasoning the offer. They think that they are clicking on this Loom because of something. because we reason them in the email body copy, but in reality we want them to click so we can show them our offer again and close them on that. So what we need to do is we need to have a very unique way of reasoning the offer while you need to check it out, and not that they are going to get some kind of value or something like that. We need to reason the offer. Then after that we just show the offer, simple as that. And after that we are going to talk about credibility, which is why they should trust you in the first place to actually work with you. And when you have that, we are going to talk about the mechanism, meaning how are you exactly going to do this? And this is something that most people mess up. I see so many of my clients talking about mechanisms and talking about the step-by-step structure that these people have to go through, but what they always miss is the fact that people don't like to hear complicated stuff. What you need to do is make it simple while actually stacking deliverables. And so what that needs to be, and what that specifically means, is that people need to understand what steps they are going to take step by step in an understandable, clear way, because otherwise they're never ever going to work with you. If something is unclear, they're not going to buy, they're not going to book a call, meaning confused minds don't buy, simple as that. And the deliverability stacking is explaining why you're so good at what you're doing that they must buy from you. And if you don't do that correctly, if you don't explain them this correctly, then they never going to buy from you. But this may seem a little bit confusing or overwhelming, and there's no problem with that at all. But what I want to do is give you a simple question you can use all the time for yourselves to actually make your looms perfect, because this is what I do all the time when I'm creating it. So before saying anything, before writing anything, before putting anything together for your loom, always ask, does this help or not closing the deal? So if you think something is more confusing, if you think something more confuses your actual prospect than creates clarity, just leave it. Rather have something simple than something confusing which doesn't make sense. And that's how you're going to achieve, with multiple variations, multiple tries, an offer and a loom which is perfect. That's how it went for me, at least. With that said, I don't want to leave you guys in the open, so I actually want to show you my own loom which has booked multiple calls for me. And so if you guys want to watch this, all you need to do is simply click the second or third link in the description, which is going to be all my Miro boards together, something like that. And in that, you're going to see the Miro board, which is exactly this. And you guys can see my loom and also the other examples I've shown you guys. But with that said, let's go then to how to actually handle cold replies, because I trust you're going to watch this loom. So for those people who are actually coming back to you like, hey man, I am already working with someone. Hey man, tell me what's the price, or hey, tell me this, tell me that, blah blah blah. They're just bad. They're just responses which we don't want to get. We want to see like, hey, I booked a call with you, or something like that. How do we handle those replies so they actually book a call? It's absolutely simple. The very first thing we are going to do is appreciate that. We appreciate that they responded. We say something on the lines of, man, appreciate your response, or thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video and respond. Something like that. Because here, again, we are trying to break down the ego, so they actually listen to us and their ego is not in the way of getting to work with us. The second thing is going to be a bit more confusing, but we need to use this, which is the deflection. So this is the part where you have to cook up something which forces you to not answer what they are asking for, either the price, either this, either that, either whatever. But when they ask that question, if they will know the answer, they will never book a call, or very little percentage will actually book a call. Also, that's why you need to deflect their answer. And what you do, for an example, is they ask for what's the price. You can say, hey, thank you so much for the question. I absolutely love that. That's my favorite one. So what we actually tend to do with our prospects is, after we understand their current situation and where they are, we have the answer of the pricing, because it's all personalized. So you just deflect the answer. You say, it's like you're trying to become like a politician. You say stuff which doesn't make sense just to get their mind out of actually wanting to know the answer, and they're actually booking a call. So that's how you just deflect. But after you deflected, you have to social proof them, or basically this is what I use, compete, where either you use social proof to get them to take an action, because that's going to be the last step, or you make their competition appear in the text somewhere, because that's going to get them to take an action, because they are jealous of their competition. So what you do is, for example, they ask for the price. You're like, hey man, thank you so much. That's my favorite question. I love to answer that. So basically how it goes is we have a personal personalized offer, personalized pricing for all of our prospects because it's dependent on their needs. If you need something and we don't have the answer for that, then we don't charge you anything. If you need X and we also offer more than that, we just only have a different small like pricing structure. You just talk about like you would explaining stuff, but you don't explain shit. And from there you just say, basically like 99.7% of the people who I talk to actually love our pricing structure. They actually say it's fair. So that's why I just want to ask you to book a call, like a 15-minute quick call where you can talk it over. So would tomorrow, I don't know, today is the date, November 24th, work for you? What do you say? Question mark. And with that, you appreciated, you deflected, you used social proof, and you pushed a call to action in front of their eyes to actually book a call with you. So with that said, we went over exactly everything on how to get info product sellers to book calls on your calendar. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, we will see you later.